All right, so my name is Colin Rogers. I'm the IEEE UH Student Advisory Committee Director, and as well as, I believe I just did. Yeah, I'm recording. Woohoo.
Oh, okay.
So,
You're not. It didn't
Are you
announce.
recording on your laptop or with Zoom? Because usually it announces it.
Yeah, no, I see it at the top left.
I was recording it on my laptop, but I could record it with Zoom. It's recording through Zoom on the laptop.
Yeah, it's recording you. There's a little flashing red.
All right, cool beans. So yeah, so my name's Colin Rogers. I'm the SAC director for IEEE at U of H. We put together Student Advisory Week in order to help you guys out as far as, bring you guys some good presentations. Right now, we got Lynn and Amanda here to give you guys just some great advice and some information about just concentrations and, engineering in general. And I just hope you guys enjoy yourselves and bring something away from the table, which you didn't come with. So on that note, I guess if Lynn and Amanda would like to go ahead and start with their forte.
Do you want to go first or shall I?
Yeah, I can go first.
Okay.
To get it out of the way, I'm just pulling it up right now. It's running a little slow. Okay. Sorry, it's restarting.
Oh, sorry.
So I'm gonna.
Sorry about that. Also, there will be a sign-in sheet posted in the chat for students if y'all want to sign up on that as well. Thank you. That's all I got.
Okay, so as I'm pulling up my slideshow, so I'm going to go over the degree plan form and the instructions needed to complete that form. A lot of y'all have probably already asked or checked out the degree plan form. If you don't have one to look at right now, you can go ahead and click on the ECE Advising Webpage. From there, you will be able to open a PDF file of the degree plan form. My Teams is just showing a white screen, so let me just try to get my file.
Do you want me to bring that up, Amanda? I can do that.
If you can, I know I have the PowerPoint saved on my laptop. It's just, I was trying to show through the Teams page there. Oh, no. Oh, no, I'm in the Teams page. But you can show how to find the degree plan if you'd like.
Yeah, let's do that. So this is the ECE main web page. It has recently been redesigned, and there's a lot of very cool stuff here that I invite you to look at. There's a lot about the research we do in the department, which is going to be relevant for those of you who might want summer jobs in a professor's lab, who might want to know something about the kind of research we do here for whatever reasons, and then all kinds of announcements and so on down here. What I want to call your attention to for the purposes of this presentation is that in undergraduate advising, there's the advising webpage. I'm always surprised at how many people don't even know this is there. But please spend some time here because there's all kinds of useful information, including how can I choose a concentration. There are some older now PowerPoints that sort of complement these presentations, so you can go there. Here are the degree plan forms. Amanda, these both say 2016 and 2019, right? So I'll let Amanda go through all of that, but those are the degree plan forms, and Amanda's made some changes here. Here are the flow charts. What you will need in order to plan out your schedule is, of course, the flow chart, and also when are courses being offered. And this tells you what's going on, whether courses are offered fall or spring. At the top here, of course, is all of our required courses, and they're offered every semester. Here are the electives, which are mostly offered fall or spring. This occasionally changes. but this is going to be 95% accurate. And if you're getting ready to take whatever, 5330 Intro to Robotics, that's probably going to be offered in the fall. It could change, so you always want to have a, you always want to keep that in mind, but for the most part, that's what's going to happen. So there's information about how to choose a concentration area. There's expected future course offerings. Here's your language, philosophy, and cultural arts core options. What else do you guys need to know? We haven't had a department newsletter for a while, but that's okay. So those are the main things. Oh, and there is also a link, and this is important, to the course catalog. This is all prefaces, but if you put in ECE in here and do filter, there's all the ECE courses. And the reason this is important is because it tells you what the prerequisites for everything are. So if you're getting ready to take 4339, there are the prerequisites, okay? And in particular, whether the 1 credit lab associated with that course is required or not, okay? 4 credit courses all have labs connected with them. So let's see if I can find one. 3456, Analog Electronics, has a lab connected with it, hence 4 credits. 4330, sorry?
I was going to say they can notice that where the description, it will say lab contact hours. They can see that there's lab hours there.
Right. Here's a course that has a 1 credit lab connected with it. So together they're 4, and it is required. You need to do it. You need to do these together. Let's see,
5335.
5335, on the other hand, does have a lab associated with it, which I think is 5115, Control Systems Lab 2. And of course, you've got to have 5335 to take that. But the lab is not required to take this course. So keep all of that in mind. There are 3 credit courses that are connected with 1 credit lab courses. Some of those 1 credit lab courses are required, and we will enforce that. Others are not. And then you're free to take it if you want, but you don't have to. Anyway, my purpose in going here was just to show you there's a lot of good information here. Spend some time and figure out what's going on. Here is our contact information. Here are the here is the link to my advising hours, Tuesday, Thursday, 1 to 2:30.
Awesome.
And I'm going to stop talking and let Amanda take over. And
if you can just stay there real quick and scroll just a little bit down. Yeah, so under general advising, I also added the new TCCNS course number updates. So if you're getting used to those new numbers, that's going to show you the previous or what is still kind of current U of H courses and how they are changing for the fall.
Yeah.
So you're going to need to know those new course numbers.
Right.
None of them are ECE or engineering, but like your physics, your sciences, in math, and some of the like core basic classes, you can find those there. And then the interim grading policy, if anybody needs to know that for the spring, this is under the provost's office. So any questions, you can see on the left-hand side, all those refer to Heidi. But they also have a fact page. But if you have any issues where you're not able to see something's going wrong with how your grading is going, the interim form, those questions can be sent to Heidi Kennedy, which her email is right there on the left side. But that's mostly it. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Okay, so mine's going to show as the PDF form that I have. Okay, so as you're looking at your own degree plan, you can follow along with this slideshow. So you're submitting your degree plan. A lot of y'all are here or have received an email from me because you're completing your ACE base, which means that you're either in signals, electronics, or micro P at this point. And you're entering in your junior year, preparing to complete your degree with your electives and setting your concentration area. Okay, this is the first section of the degree plan. So right here it says that there's a total of 6 concentration elective courses. These are for fall 19 flowchart degree students. If you entered in fall 16 and still follow the fall 16 degree flowchart, you have 7 concentration electives. So there's that difference there. And fall 16 flowchart students have 4 labs to complete and 7 concentration electives. Fall 19 requires 6 concentration elective courses and 3 labs. Okay. So depending on which concentration area you're going to choose, it's okay if you don't know now. That's really great that you're attending advisory week, because you're going to get to know a little bit more about each concentration area. Depending on which one you choose, there are some required concentration electives. So yeah, they're called electives, but depending on your concentration area, there are certain classes that are required to take within that concentration. So for example, if you are deciding to fall into electronics, these are going to be the 4 electives you must choose out of the 6 or 7 that you are required to take. Okay, and as you notice here, this class under electronics, which is 3456, that's one class that Dr. Trombetta showed on the course catalog. That 4th hour falls into your ECE required lab. Okay, so just with these required courses, you have 1, 2, 3 labs that you're able to fall into your elective labs. Okay.
So that satisfies the 3 labs that you need to take.
Okay, so it ranges differently with each concentration area. So for signals, those are 2 labs that fall into, that satisfy your elective labs. Okay, so it's either a 1 credit hour class or 4 credit hour class that can be used as a lab. Okay, so these are required. Next, so now, although those are required, now you get to choose the remaining of your concentration electives. It shows you here how many more you have to select, but they all should equal up to 6 or 7 if you're on the fall 16. I'm going to use electronics as our example throughout this slide. So as an electronics concentration, 4 are required. So I get to pick any of these 2 in this concentration category to complete all my concentration required electives. Okay, that goes for each individual concentration. You just have to have a total of 6. Okay. All right, so on your flow chart, you're going to see that you have 2 EC electives as on top of that, your concentration electives. Any 2, 3, 4, 5,000 level courses, obviously that you have not previously taken. Your concentration elective that you're using for a concentration elective can't be double dipped as an EC elective. An ECE based class cannot be double dipped as an EC elective. So they have to be 2 additional. They can be any 3, 4, 5,000 level courses. It does not have to be within your concentration. It can be any of these courses. Okay, so that gives you a little flexible, like free electives that you want to choose if you wanted to step outside of your concentration and get a little experience in a different concentration, whatever your choice is. Then every student has every EE student has a technical elective that they have to satisfy. It's only one. It can be any of these classes that you see below. If you do not want to take any of these classes that are these math, science, or the physics and the MECI courses, you can just choose another ACE elective that is 3, 4, 5,000 level courses. And that can be, again, any ECE elective class. It does not have to fall in your concentration. It can if you want. Okay. Now your elective labs, Fall 19 students have 3 elective labs. In fall 16 have 4. Again, they can come from a 4 credit hour class or a 3-in-1 lecture, 3 credit hour lecture and a 1 hour lab class. Okay, I used the examples that you see below. ECE 5440 is Advanced Digital Design. It's a 4 credit hour course. It has lecture and lab in that course enrollment. 4375 is Automatic Control Systems. It has a lab that can be taken, actually is required to be taken with that lecture. That 4115 lab is associated with the lecture. It is something that you can use as your lab. So say you took these 2 courses, you already have 2 labs completed. Okay. Any questions so far just about the degree plan? Only about the degree plan form, because I still have some more to talk about, but I don't want to miss any important questions about how to read this form. And
Amanda, I'd like to, if I could clarify the lab situation.
Yes,
Would you go back up a page? So you are required 3 labs in between the concentration 1 and the category 1 and the category 2 electives. If you take additional labs, that's, how should I say it, on you. So for example, if you're on electronics, your category 1 electives already include 3 labs, so you don't have to take any additional labs. If you take a 4 credit course somewhere, or you take a 4 or a 3 credit course that requires the lab, then you will have more than the number of credit hours that you need to graduate. You'll have an extra credit hour, and there's nothing wrong with that. If the 3 credit hour course that you take includes a required lab, you must take it, even though you have your 3 already. So students will tell me, well, I'm going to take 4375, but I'm not going to take the lab because I already have 3. It doesn't work that way. 4375 requires the lab. So if you take it, you're going to have an extra credit hour. If you have 3 additional labs, then you can skip an elective. So it's easier to do that in some of these concentration areas than others. For example, if you choose, so you already have 3 for electronics. If you choose, let's say, microwave and antenna engineering, and you take both labs, then you take an elective that also has a lab. Now you have 3 additional labs, and you can skip the second elective. Okay, that's the way all of that works.
So Amanda and Lynn, there are some questions in the chat, and I think maybe a good bit of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at them right now. So yeah, all electives must be taken at U of H because they're engineering. So all engineering classes must be taken at U of H. I'm not sure if I've ever seen transfer credits maybe for these physics and math courses at a local community college, because that's where we usually see transfer credits. But those would be the only exception, but all engineering classes must be taken at U of H.
Right. Transfer credit is a 2-step process. First, you have to send your transcripts to the registrar to get them accepted into U of H. Then you have to petition ECE to make them equal to something in ECE, right? So they will come in as a general, let's say 3 credit hours, but if you want them to count towards whatever, ECE blank 3 blank blank, that's a second petition to have that course count as an ECE course. So it's a 2-step process.
Yeah, so you're transferring it, then you're petitioning for an equivalent course.
Right.
If Kenneth, if you took this class, an engineering class before you were admitted in, as an engineering student here, you can do the transfer credit petition, get that course transferred and petition it. But if you were already accepted and a student at U of H College of Engineering, then no. because we do sometimes have like post-backs become admitted into our college, or just transfer students, and then they have some engineering courses, but that was taken and they were satisfied before they applied. Okay. Yes, this form is only for electrical right now. I'm still going to go over the computer. The catalog year on your degree plan is what flow chart catalog you are following. So it's either fall 16 or fall 19. So students really who came into fall in our college at fall 18, most likely are following fall 19 flow chart. Previous students, they were on fall 16. We rarely have any fall 16 flow charts anymore, but I still want to consider just in case anybody in here is still following that plan.
So the only difference between them, or the most important difference between them, is that beginning in 2019, we made DLD 3441 required for everybody. So that means we took it off of the concentration area electives because everybody has to take it anyway. And we reduced the number of electives you take from 7 to 6. So that's where all that is coming from. But those are the principal, that's the most important difference. So
Yeah.
if you've taken 3441 already, it kind of doesn't matter which plan you're using.
Sorry, a moment. Okay, so 3441, Josh, if you took it as an EC elective, then you would be required, you were on the fall 16 plan.
Sun Tran, we're getting to that in just a minute.
5,000 courses. No, they all do not all, only 5440. I'm not sure if that, is that stated anywhere that all 5,000, any 5,000 courses require permission?
No,
Missing? Okay, I just didn't want to miss that.
no,
The
no
only
5,000 level courses require permission from the professor.
The only course that does is Advanced Digital
40.
Design.
Yeah,
That's the
ADD,
only AP
Advanced
class.
Digital Design, that's different.
Yeah, and if any class does, it'll state that in the enrollment. It'll be clear.
Josh, 3441, the people in it, 3441 is required for everybody. If you're on the 2016 degree plan, it's an elective, but if you're past that, it's required of everybody. And yes, it counts as a lab, but it doesn't matter. It's not on the new degree plan anymore.
Okay, so I'm gonna move on. Okay. So the computer degree plan is a little bit simpler. It's not as flexible with the electives. So the CPE degree plan requires 2 CPE electives and 1 EC elective plus lab. Hold on. So I see a question. So the way the degree plan in your flow chart is cannot be changed. So I see a question that says, instead of 1 EC elective, can we take an extra technical elective? You cannot form your own degree. Okay. So what is set is that unless you, a technical elective, you can use it as an EC elective or an ECE course. Okay. So the 2 CPE electives that you can choose from are these 3 courses: was micro embedded systems, advanced micro P, or advanced digital design. You only need to take 2 since 2 are required. So on your degree plan, you're checking only 2 classes out of those 3. And then your other elective has to be an elective in a lab. So either that 3 credit hour class with a 1 hour lab or 4 credit hour elective will suffice that requirement. And the only major thing that we want to point out is that it must include a lab. Do not take just a 3-hour class without the lab. Okay. Any questions about the computer degree plan and their electives? Okay. All right, so you're gonna take these forms. What I would do, I mean, you're gonna attend advisory week if you need to find out a little bit more about each concentration area. If you have any questions, write them down. You're each going to make an appointment to meet with your concentration faculty advisor, depending on which one you choose. Their emails and names are here. So you'll just contact them, set up an appointment. However they would like to meet with you, they'll let you know. You'll go over your electives with them. You can fill out the form together. If you already have an idea of which electives that you are choosing and you're confident, then go ahead and select them, but your advisor will still review it with you and they will sign as the advisor for that form to be submitted. Okay. These advisors are going to serve to answer any additional questions you have about the class content or the electives in general. If you need help choosing electives, any questions about future projects or anything about your concentration area, they will help assist with that. Dr. Trombetta, do you want to include anything as like part of a faculty concentration advisor? What are some questions that you hear often? Or what's helpful?
No, I guess I would add just a couple of things here. Number one, this information is on that advising webpage that I showed earlier. Mm-hmm. Secondly, in terms of the nanosystems, it's not reflected on the flow chart that Amanda showed in this as part of this PowerPoint, but we are no longer offering the labs that go with the nanosystems courses. So 5319, 2021 used to have labs, 1 credit labs associated with them. That's no longer the case. So you cannot take those labs. They're obviously not required. And let's see. Yeah, and as Amanda said, I mean, do the best you can to choose your electives and then show your advisor, whoever is listed here, and then that will get submitted to Amanda and you're all set.
Okay. And any class that you choose, at U of H, doesn't matter if it's an elective or not, you always have to meet the prerequisites, whether it's in physics, ECE, any class at U of H, you check the course catalog, you have to meet the prerequisites. Okay.
Yeah, David Wu. So, I mean, the short answer is you can sign up for anything you have the prerequisites for. You don't have the prerequisites, you can't take the course. Now, the CPE electives, you are generally structured so that you almost certainly have the prerequisites for it. Okay, otherwise you would have to take more courses than 129 hours. And so I haven't seen too many of those cases.
Okay, so the end is the instructions that we just spoke about. First thing you're going to do, set up an advising appointment, contact your faculty advisor, discuss your options, electives. You get your degree plans from the advising page and you submit the form on the Microsoft team. So I've sent that invite to all Signals, Electronics, and Micro-P students. I can send it in the chat area again today, just in case if anybody didn't receive that. So once the form is signed and completely filled out, there's many times that I receive it signed or sometimes not signed. Even sometimes when it's signed, the back of the page where like the technical elective or the ECE labs are not completely filled out. So everything must be complete, like filled out. Please do not fill out or submit any forms that are not, submit any forms that are not complete. One moment, sorry. Sorry, maintenance just came. And that is the end of this.
I would like to address the issue of class capacities, because I get a lot of anxious questions from panicky students who think they're not going to get into their class. I have been the academic advisor for about 5 years now. I can't remember any instances where students could not get into a class that they wanted to take. Okay, it might have happened once, but I don't remember. Here's the deal. We know pretty much how many people are going to be in a classroom. By the way, I should have started by saying that almost all of our classes will be face-to-face, in person, beginning in the fall. A handful of classes that you're probably not going to take because they're 5,000 level. Well, I guess you could. Anyway, a small handful of classes are going to remain online, but almost every class you're going to take in the fall in ECE will be face-to-face. I can't speak for the rest of the university, but I can tell you that the university is encouraging faculty to go face-to-face. So we are back to a classroom situation. We have a pretty good idea how many people are going to be taking the class. If the capacity has been reached, don't panic. If there's this many seats in the classroom, we set the capacity here because we need a little bit of control over that. So get on the waiting list. All classes have waiting lists available on PeopleSoft. Is that right, Amanda?
Repeat that question.
All classes, all ECE classes have waiting lists that are available through PeopleSoft, right?
They are.
So if capacitance is reached and you can't get in, get on the waiting list and we'll take care of it. If people drop the class, people sign up for more classes than they know they're going to take. People sign up for classes to hold the places for their friends. Please don't do that, okay? We need an accurate count of how many people are going to be in the classrooms. If we have to, we'll raise the maximum capacity. And if the maximum capacity reaches the number of seats in the room, we'll find a bigger room, okay? At least up until today, I have never turned a student away from an ECE class. I can't speak for physics or chemistry or history, but no one has ever been turned away from an electrical engineering course, okay? We may put you on a waiting list for a little while, but unless something very unusual happens in the fall, you're not going to be turned away from your classes. So please don't sign up for extra classes. Don't hold places for your friends. Get on the waiting list if the capacity has been reached. We know you're on the waiting list. We will address it, okay?
Yeah, emails to jump the waiting lists will not.
Don't bombard Amanda with email. Don't send email to the faculty. Please let me into your class. It's full. Don't do that. Your instructors have no control over that whatsoever. Dr. Shattuck cannot let you into a class of his that has already been reached capacity, okay? Don't ask him to do that. Just sit tight. We'll get you in or we'll work something out. If it turns out we can't get you into a class you need, we will work something out. All right. Your graduation will not be delayed because you can't get into a class that you need. So don't worry about that. Rumi, the ECE elective has to be different from the concentration. Yes, in addition to the category 1 and 2 electives, you're going to take 2 ECE electives and you're going to take a technical elective, and those are 3 different courses. Not sure I understand that question. ECE elective, 2 ECE electives, and there's a technical elective, and they are all, of course, different.
Okay, so I finally got the page up if it's working. So whenever you enter the page and become admitted, so when you get the link you're requesting to be added into the group, you will not be added until Dr. Trombetta or I accept it. So I've had previous students email me once they sent a request wondering why they can't see the page. You have to wait until you're accepted, okay? submitting the degree plan, this is how the page is going to look. Again, the instructions are here. I'm going to explain what's written here is how you're going to upload the form and where to find the instructions. So it says Open Teams tab, ECE degree plan. When you click up here, it has a space for the ECE degree plan instructions. So you have your instructions again, which is that PowerPoint that I just went over, and then where you're going to upload your forms in these files, okay? According to the template that I just showed on the first page, and I'm gonna show it again. Please just don't upload it any way that you want. I would like for y'all to put your PSID, last name, first name, and let me know which degree plan. So either CPE or EE, and then what semester. So this is for spring 21. Okay. So once you're here, back into the instructions, this is the PowerPoint. So everything I just went over, you can find it there as well. The advisors, the degree plan is still on the advising page. Okay, so I'm going to send it. The deadline is going to be May 17th, which I believe is a Monday. There is a link. So if you have not requested to get into the group, you can do so today.
I would like to make a couple of comments about the concentration areas very generally based on a question from Eric Nunez. The ECE department provides 2 degrees, Bachelor of Science Electrical Engineering, Bachelor of Science Computer Engineering. If you are an electrical engineer, you will choose a concentration area. That information will not be on your degree. Any company that hires you will see BSEE, period. If the only way they're going to know that you were an electronics concentration area and not a computer and embedded systems concentration area is if you tell them, which I think you should do. Find a place for that on your resume. But please keep in mind, these are very general degrees. Okay, in fact, all of them are. All of the EE concentration areas and the computer engineering, these are very general degrees. Most likely what's going to happen when you get a job, especially at a big company, the first thing they're going to do is send you to training. Okay, you just got through 4 years, maybe more of undergraduate education. They need to train you to do your specific job. And the reason people from this department and for all the engineering departments are valuable to companies is because you can be trained to do a lot of different things because you have a very general degree. All of this is to say, don't sweat the small stuff, okay? If you choose the electronics concentration area and somebody is interested an employer is interested in you to do signals and systems type stuff, they're not going to say, oh, we would love to hire you to do signals, but you're an electrical engineer, electronics concentration area. That's not going to happen. One exception that I might make is that if you want to be in the power industry, to work for Burns McDonnell, for example, designing power stations and substations and so on, all other things being equal, they're going to choose somebody who was in the power concentration because they know they're a local company and they know that we have that. And so if you're a good student, they're going to choose you. But if they have 2 good students, both who have exactly the same GPAs, one of them is a power concentration, they would probably choose the power concentration. But I mean, aside from that, do what you like. Take the courses you're interested in. Don't try to psych out what technology is going to be hot when you graduate. Everything in engineering is going to be hot. Everything in electrical and computer engineering is going to be hot. So don't sweat those things. All right. Choose the one you want.
And I'll add to that too, is that even if you do take two different, you have one student takes one concentration, one takes another. For the most part, I had a friend that was in electronics, that was power, and almost every class we took was just about the same. We had some minor differences just because of the nature of our required courses, but as far as our electives were concerned, we took just about all the other same courses. So even though we indeed did have different concentrations, we had a very similar education when it came to the end of it.
Right. And don't forget, you get two ECE electives and a technical elective. The technical elective could also be an ECE elective. So you could be in the electronics concentration area, and you could take 3 power courses. You're most of the way toward a power concentration area. And of course, you can always take more courses than that. You don't need more than 129 hours, but you're certainly free to take more than that if you want. So don't sweat that sort of stuff. They're all very general degrees. And as I say, your concentration area is not going to appear on your degree. It's going to say Bachelor of Science, Electrical Engineering. The concentration areas really were designed just to sort of help you think about the different things that electrical engineers could do. And if you're really interested in signals and systems, then go for that one. It's a way to help you choose. It's really a way to help you choose your electives, is what it amounts to. But it's still a very broad degree.
Okay. So does anybody have any questions I have not answered according to the degree plan?
I have a quick question. So on the ECE flowchart, it says that next semester we should try to take an ECE elective. But when I look at the electives on the course website, there's only like 3 that we could take that are junior level, and they all require electronics or signals and systems as a prereq, but we're taking those next semester. So how, can we still sign up for those ECE electives or not?
If you don't have the prerequisites, then you're not able to sign up for the class if the prerequisites will not be complete. So you may need to, I'm sure that there's some ECE electives that do not require those. You may need to look around or switch some things up on your flowchart. Like instead of an ECE elective, take your engineering statistics. You can take numerical methods. Or if you have any other core class to switch, you can keep your ECE elective for the following semester after you complete the prerequisites.
Okay.
So Mariana, the flow chart is really just a suggestion. You don't have to do it in that order. Now, if you're in UH and 4, the UH and 4 office asks us whether you're following the UH and 4 schedule, and we don't have a rule that says you have to be in every single thing in that semester to maintain UH and 4. We understand that you could be a course behind, maybe 2 courses behind, and you're still in UH and 4. So the flow chart is really just a suggestion, so don't sweat that.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Well, I'm going to add a Ask Questions channel on the Teams page for anybody that would thinks of any questions after Advisory Week that were maybe not unanswered. If they're towards the degree plan, any questions relating towards like the actual course content, I would suggest keeping those questions when you meet with your concentration advisor, because they may they should be the best ones to answer those.
And I'll
So,
say
just-
one.
Mike,
Oh.
just out of curiosity,
Mhm.
when somebody requests to be in the degree plan form team, I guess it goes to both of us, and whichever one of us gets there first gets to approve them?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll add to that whenever I was to something that when I was doing my concentration, I did power, and I found out that pretty much the best thing I really could have done at that time whenever I was trying to determine what classes to take, all of this, the best thing I did was go find a concentration advisor and just talk through, you know, some of them are really, really open to just conversate and say, hey, what do you actually like to do? And help you find concentrations like that as far as your electives are concerned. And so if you kind of have more questions that delve into your specific electives, I think I'm seconding what Lynn and Amanda have already said. Go talk to the concentration advisors that Amanda put on the list. They are really helpful when it comes to finding out what actually is a class. And one other thing is be watching for whenever you can sign up for classes. That's all I got.
that's all I got. We must have done a great job, Amanda. No more questions. I would like to acknowledge Amanda, of course, but also Colin Rogers. This is a volunteer job for him. He's done a terrific job looking out for you guys to put all this together. He's the student advisory committee president. Is that right, Colin?
Director, but yeah, same difference.
Director.
It's
Sure enough,
effectively the same thing.
says director right there. Okay. So this is an organization under the general umbrella of IEEE, and these guys are working hard for you.
Yeah, indeed. We have a lot of IEEE events. Feel free to come to any of them, and we have all sorts of events. Whether it goes from just hanging out, social events, you like to play games or whatever, or do you like to meet professionals, or even events like this where it comes to academic and professional development too.
Colin actually graduated last fall, but he liked it so much here he decided to stay. And he's in process
Maybe.
of getting a master's degree. Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. He's in the process of getting a master's degree. So
Yep. I will say one thing: if you're going to do graduate school, be prepared.
Funny.
All right.
All
Well,
right, kids.
thank you, Trombetta and Amanda, for coming out.
Of course.
I
our
really
pleasure.
appreciate it.
Good luck.
All right.